Hi friends, I'm here with Shari and Bridget, and we're going to discuss ways that you can archive a lot of your music digitally and have it available at your fingertips in so many easy ways using iPad and ForScore. And so let's take a look and see what we can do with that technology. Shari, it's nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about what you do with your iPad and what size it is and how much memory and what you can do in terms of using your music and archiving it.
Well, Dave, I got this iPad about a year ago, and it's been a huge blessing. And it's really allowed me to do a lot more with my music in terms of extra jobs and things, because I am not bogged down in bringing a lot of papers with me.
Because you go from church to church and you don't want to take all these different books with you.
I travel to 3 different churches, and now I just take my iPad, and I'll just grab it here so I can hold it for you. I bring this iPad, and I was very blessed to receive for Christmas the large iPad, which is about the same size as an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So you're looking at the same size. And one also good thing about this is you never have to worry about a dark church because your iPad is always lit. Love that too. So this has 128 gig, which is plenty. I'm not even scratching the surface on that amount of memory yet. So that is wonderful. And the different storage places on here, such as Dropbox and OneDrive and Google Docs, are really great too. If you have internet at the time, you can pull those in whenever you do load up your documents. So first, talking the apps that you would need for this would be the best one, which is called ForScore. And ForScore is designed, and jump in anytime, Bridget. ForScore is designed to load up music either from an online app, that you have a mobile app for either Breaking Bread or Gather, that you could bring those pieces of music into ForScore, eventually put into folders we call set lists, and then have a set list for each liturgy, each church, however you'd like to set that up. So it's bringing that document in that we can start with and then move on to how to set up a folder or a set list.
What if a church doesn't already have Wi-Fi? Are you limited by that, or what can you do to save yourself?
To save yourself, you can scan in documents on a copier or a scanner and bring them into your computer or put them on a flash drive, or I guess you would actually put them on Dropbox then, and then you can just download them.
And I don't need Wi-Fi.
You don't need it.
No, because if I already have my document, which is the mobile app for the, say, the 1,000-page Breaking Bread, is in here. It's in here in its entirety. I don't need any Wi-Fi to bring in a sheet of music from there, take a screenshot, and then put it into ForScore. No, this runs all without Wi-Fi.
Looks great. Now, what happens if you have a multi-page document? What could you do there?
Well, there are settings within the ForScore that allow you to do this magic where you just turn it, and then you have your 2 pages. And that's nice for a 2-page, because a lot of our hymns are 2-page documents. And if there's many pages, there's some more advanced techniques that we can go over later to use your da capo and your refrains and such to go back there.
In terms of using this iPad, then, how much memory do you think we would normally need to have? You have, I think, 128 gigs. You haven't even touched all of that yet.
I think I'm at 35 or 40.
Okay, so this is really not going to be a huge memory user if you use something like this.
Not at all.
Oh,
Not
that's
at all.
awesome. Can the cantors use this, or choir members use this?
Absolutely. At our church, we've actually scanned in all of our choral music, so I can give them, I have it on my iPad, I can airdrop it to choir members if it's an anthem, a choral anthem. Even if it's just out of the hymnal, I have the cantor hymnal, or the the pew one, and the choir version of the Gather hymnal, and I can give them anything they need.
That's fantastic. I think it's a real saver in terms of books and paper. Why don't we give a demonstration of how we start this whole thing? So before we even scan some music, I know you have to be able to save it somewhere. So why don't you walk us through the process of maybe creating a folder, or how you do this for your Sunday liturgy or your cantors, or what you're going to do. And then maybe we can demonstrate how we scan the document in and get it ready for ForScore.
Okay, Bridget, would you like to show how to do the set list, make up a set list?
Sure.
Just create a set list.
So you tap in the middle of the screen, up comes this, across the top you have a menu. So you hit your note, okay, and in there, I did that wrong. You gotta hit this one. and you go to set list. So it's the one with the lines, and you come back to your set list, and she has a whole bunch here. You hit the plus. Now we have a new set list. We'll just call it new and say create. Oh, now you have a new set list. Now you have your music already scanned in. You have a library. You know what you want. You hit the plus button, and you want to add Adaramuste. And you can go through and pick multiple pieces, and there it is.
Fantastic.
You can even edit your set list. You can take things out. You can add things in. You can move them around. The whole bit.
I'd like to show them how to move them around because
Yeah.
let's put a big set list in
Okay.
here. Let's go in and get, say, my Sunday liturgy there. And
If
go
you
ahead.
hit the edit button,
This is fun.
and you want this up here. Oh, I want that there. No, I want the Kyrie down, you know, the Kyrie is down here. We're going to use this as a prelude piece, you know, so this is really cool. And if you select them, you can do this, and you have choices: remove, edit, share. You can share certain pieces out of the set list. You can share the entire set list, but you could remove them and say, that does not remove them from ForScore entirely. It just removes it from that set list. So you still have this music. Okay, so I'm going to just say, go back, cancel what I was doing. So that's how set lists work, basically.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah, so we're carrying with us thousands and thousands of pieces of music.
Yes.
You could actually take your wedding binder that is actually, for me, a suitcase in the back of my trunk and scan in all of your music and put it into a big wedding folder and then have a small wedding folder for that weekly wedding. There's so many things that you could think about doing with this to lessen your time and your load and your shoulders and everything carrying the binders and look really professional when you go somewhere. You showed up with
and
this.
you conduct and you play right from this iPad.
Yes,
Correct.
very confidently. This
Yes.
is a very, very good piece of hardware that has never let me down.
Well, why don't we give a demonstration of how to scan the music in right from the beginning?
Okay.
Okay?
Bridget, would you like to do that?
That's fine. So what we're going to do first is we're going to scan within, you can do this within ForScore. We're going to scan, we have a book or a piece of paper or whatever we have, and we pull up our menu at the top by tapping in the middle of the screen, and we go here. This is our little briefcase. It has all our little tools in it. And we're going to go, in this instance, we're going to go to Darkroom. Now, Darkroom will do two things. You can either take a photo, which is what we're going to do, or you can pull in things that you've already scanned, and they are in your photos on your iPad. They could probably be other places too. I haven't tried that yet, but so here's our piece of music, and this is what we want to use. I gotta get here, get it to there. Oop. So I'm going to click it, just like the camera, just like on your iPhone. Okay, now when I say done, and I say, there's my pieces, I say save, and I'm just going to save as new. You can name it whatever you want to name it. Some people do put the composer's name in, some people put version names in, and other things like that, okay? So now you have this, and it's kind of down and dirty, but you have two pages, okay? Turn that off. It's doing this half page thing, okay? Oh, why? Okay. So there you are. Now you can go in and you can edit, you can clean it up and get rid of the black stuff. You can print from here, you can share from here, do whatever you want. Put it in your set list. Anything you want to do with it, you can do.
So even though it looks crooked and you see the spiral from the spiral book, you can edit that to create a nice document that looks nice and clean to play right from.
Right. There's an easy, the quick and down and dirty way to do it is to use the crop. Okay. Now crop lets you straighten it out, and you can do this. That's the fastest way to get it down and dirty done. And most of the junk is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can get real fancy and do what I do and white out stuff and all that kind of thing, but that's how that works. Very easy.
So initially it would be a little bit of a time piece where you've got to do each page individually. But once it's there, it's already there and you don't have to do it again.
Exactly. Now if you were to scan things in, like on a scanner, and you had that available to you, you would go to the briefcase and do Darkroom, and you would select the pages, and it brings up photos on your iPad. So here's just funeral music. There's all this music. So I would pick each pages, just for example, and there's just as if I did a picture myself, okay, and save as. Just going to save as love. Okay. Now I have what I scanned in. Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, now that we know that we have the ability to have all this music scanned and have it at our fingertips and not break our shoulders and backs carrying all the books, tell us a little bit about how you address the possibility that somebody might consider this infringement on copyrights. I mean, you already own all the music, don't you?
That's correct. We own. When you buy the app, you actually purchase the full hymnal, either the accompaniment book, a binder, or a pew version of the hymnal. And so when you go and share it with someone, you are sharing something that they already own. So instead of your choir member carrying around a book, they have it on their iPad, but you already own the books. We've purchased the books, we've purchased the accompaniment books.
So there isn't any issue with copyright infringement. And I've also found it helpful. I have a few choir members who have macular degeneration and they're older. Their hands are a little bit weaker. So what I do for them is we do make copies. I'll send this to my OneDrive and print it out, but I've already enlarged it in here and I've made some notes for the choir member on there that she can see. And it helps her to be able to participate and not have to be confused between books and the heaviness of some items. But we do own the hard copy of the Choral Praise book that we're using. So it's inclusive. It allows us to just broaden the amount of people that can actually be in the ministry, which is great.
Thanks so much for all your insight. Really appreciate it today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.